Oh, I'm in love. I really like this place. Finally here. Now, you know those spots that you have marked in your maps for like months and months, and you just stare at them thinking, what's that place going to be like? Well, this is one of those places. I've like stared at this spot for so bloody long, so it feels really good to be here. I've just hiked about 6 or 7 k's down the fire trail, and now we're just going to follow this river around for another 6 or 7 k's to where I think I'm going to set up camp for tonight. And I'm really looking forward to it. There's meant to be lots of wildlife in this park, beautiful river flowing through with your nice sandstone cliffs around you and a fair few caves and stuff, so I think it should be a really nice trip. So yeah, let's get a move on. Mate, I'm absolutely loving the walking today. So nice just walking through this sort of open grassy meadows, and kind of feels like I'm walking through someone's private property, but it's not, it's a national park. It's really beautiful. It's kind of got me thinking as well of the early accounts that you read from settlers when they first arrived in Australia. They sort of noted that the bushland looked like well-managed parklands like they're used to in England, and that was because local indigenous mobs of the area would frequently burn the country every sort of 5 or 7 years or so, or whenever the country needed it, sort of keep that dense undergrowth down and encourage grasses to grow, which then brings in game for them to hunt. So yeah, kind of feel like this is probably what a lot of Australia used to look like before we started to mismanage the land, unfortunately. But it's really nice to see it like this out here. It's absolutely beautiful. This looks like some pig damage. From what I've read, this park gets a lot of feral animals, so wouldn't be surprised to see a fair bit more of this, unfortunately. Well, just saw my first emus of the trip, which is pretty cool. We do get a lot of emus in this area, so hopefully we'll see a few more. Oh mate, you have got to love the sandstone country. Let's have a look at that thing. Now there's a bunch of emus just over there on a little grassy hill. I'll tell you what I'd love to do is to run this river in a pack raft or a canoe one day. Just imagine floating down the river and going past these bloody gorgeous rock faces. That would be so cool. Could have almost done it this weekend. Like, pretty sure this river's up a fair bit. From what I've seen on satellite images, it's usually quite a shallow sandy river, but this area did get a lot of rain yesterday, so I think it's come up a bit. So I have to add that to the pack raft list. So I had a bloke the other day tell me that he's made a drinking game out of every time I talk about how nice the view is. So mate, if you're watching, you better call in sick for work tomorrow, because I think I'm going to be drinking a lot this video, because that is bloody epic. Oh, I'm buggered. I think I've walked around about 13k so far, and the time is 3:30, so I've got 2 hours left to light. Haven't quite made it to the spot that I wanted to. It's probably another, I don't know, maybe 4k's or something to the spot, but to be honest, I can't really be bothered, eh? I'm pretty wrecked, so I'm so thirsty as well. So I think I might pull up stumps here. This looks like a pretty nice little grassy spot. Got the river just down there as well. There's some really nice cliffs all around me. There's actually a really cool cliff just behind us. So I might even go up there and have a look to see if I can find a cave, because if I can find a cave to sleep in, I would be so stoked. But otherwise, I'll probably just roll the bivvy out on this grassy patch. Alright, so just went up and had a look around that rocky outcrop up there, and unfortunately couldn't find any caves. If you have a look down here, there's a creek down here that flows into the river, which is over there. If you have a look down here, honestly it looks like a grassy park. Like, it looks lovely down there. So let's go down and have a look at it. I'll also get some water from that creek. Wow, this spot is really beautiful. It's absolutely lovely. Honestly, this grass is like something out of a park. Beautiful river she oaks and gum trees. It's got a very nice tranquil feel about it. So I've got my tarp with me, so I might even build a PowerPoint shelter off this small tree and just roll the bivvy out underneath that. And we've got a little creek just down there to collect water, so a very nice spot indeed. Alright, so for this trip I decided to bring out the Outdoor Research Helium Bivvy rather than the Corinthia, just because this thing is so light. Weighs about 550 grams and packs down really small, whereas the Corinthia weighs about 1.2 kilos. So I save about 700 grams by bringing this thing. Even though the Corinthia is better, I like having that side zip. Just for 2 nights this will do. Oh, man, I am buggered, eh? Absolutely exhausted. I'm going to sleep so well tonight. And then once again for this trip I got the Alton -5 quilt. As always, there'll be links in the description below if you guys want to check out what gear I'm using. And those are affiliate links, so if you guys do decide to purchase something, I get a small cut from the sale, which is no extra cost to you guys, but it's always a nice little way to help out the channel. Well, you know what time it is? You guessed it, gin and tonic time. I feel like I definitely deserve this after today. It has been a massive day. Alright, cheers guys. Now that is what the doctor ordered. Man, it has been a big day. I got up about 4:30 this morning, hit the road by about 5 AM. It was about a 5-hour drive to get here, and then about I think it's like 13 or 14 kilometre walk. I just heard something in the bush then. Wouldn't be surprised tonight if I get lots of kangaroos and maybe emus walking around me while I'm sleeping. This looks like prime emu territory. I saw heaps of kangaroos up there before. There's so much wildlife here, it's really nice. Yeah, like I was saying, I'm buggered. So I'm not going to stay up too late tonight. I'm basically just going to cook dinner quickly, sit around the fire for just a little bit, and then yeah, pack it up and go to bed because I'm exhausted. So yeah, nothing too special tonight for dinner. Just got just some meat and some veggies just to quickly fry up, and then chuck some pesto on top, and yeah, that's me done. So let's get that on the fire. This is just some halloumi cheese. Far out, this place is magical. Just got all these cliffs surrounding me. Got another big cliff over there, and just more cliffs over there. And there's really beautiful grassy meadows, and then these gorgeous gum trees. And I'm at the junction of two creeks just here. And then this creek flows down into the main river. Man, this place is honestly absolutely beautiful, especially in the morning with the fog. Has such a nice element to it. I'm just following this little cliff line just here just to see if I can come across any caves. I saw a tiny little overhang back there, but nothing too crazy. But I reckon this area would be full of them, eh? Like, you can just see all the caves on the cliffs in the distance. So I reckon there'll be some really good ones around here, and I dare say there's probably quite a few of them would have Aboriginal artworks and stuff inside of them. Seems like a very special place, this. This river was used as a main sort of trading route for the local Indigenous mobs. So I dare say up these little side creeks and stuff, there would be heaps of Aboriginal art. I could honestly spend like a week, I reckon, just exploring this little like nooks and crannies. Right, so I've updated my water filtering system. So I've got one of these 2-litre knock bags and then a Sawyer squeeze. I have used the Sawyer minis in the past, but I found the flow rate on them is not that great. And then I went to a B-free filter, which was good to start with, but then the flow rate went terrible with it. And I was trying to clean it, and it took so long to fill up a water bottle. So I've decided to go with the Sawyer squeeze, and so far this is really good. It takes like 15 seconds to fill up a litre water bottle, so it's really good at the moment. Also, these bags are great too. They're heaps better than the crappy plastic Sawyer bags that come with the filters. This thing's like really durable, and also being a 2-litre bag, it also means I can transport water. Say if I'm camping somewhere that's quite a distance away from a creek, I can fill this up and chuck it in the backpack and carry some water around. So far I'm pretty stoked with this little combo. So I doused the fire pit last night with about 3 litres of water before I went to bed, so it's well and truly out. Alright, so just cleaned up the fire pit. As always guys, it's always good to practice leave no trace. I've just made sure that fire was well and truly out and scattered the ashes, so that way the next person that comes across this beautiful spot will feel like they're the first person to ever camp here, because that's kind of how I felt when I first arrived yesterday. It's so bloody pristine. Honestly feels like I'm the only person to ever camp here. So yeah, practice leave no trace guys. And have a look at this cool little cave. It's not very high, but it's quite deep. And have a look at all the bones at the entry. Not quite sure what animal that would be. But you can definitely tell this cave is used pretty regularly by some sort of animal. Maybe a wild dog or a fox. There's kind of a bit of a depression like they've dug out in the centre there. Fair bit of scat laying around. It's pretty cool. On the other side of the bank, it seems like there's some really good caves, like up there behind those trees. Looks like to be a really good cave, and also just over here. I'd love to swim across, but this river is definitely in flood. It's moving pretty fast, and it's about, what's that? I don't know, 50 meters wide or something. So if I was to jump in here, I would end up all the way down there, I reckon. So I'm not quite sure if it's really a smart idea. We'll just keep walking along here and see what we can find. Well, finally made it to that spot that I had marked on my maps. So at the junction of this little river here and then the main river. And man, there is so much water moving through here. The original plan was to sort of cross the river and then go explore that river up there. But on the satellite maps, what this looks like is vastly different. Like basically most of the river, like for most of the year, is just like a shallow, sandy, gravelly banks with just a small little channel that the river flowed through, and then you have these deeper pools around the bends. But yeah, usually the river's just quite small, but at the moment it is bank to bank, which is probably about, I don't know, 40 or 50 meters across, and the water is moving really fast. So I don't think I really want to swim across. And what I might do then instead is might sit up on this rock over here and have a bit of lunch, and then I think I'm probably going to make my way back to where I camped last night, or I might even go a little bit further around to where those big rock cliff faces were. That way I haven't got as too far to walk tomorrow when I want to go back to the car. So yeah, let's go have some lunch. Alright, so for lunch today we got a wild bar, some biltong and some snakes. Well, I'm really enjoying this place, eh? It is very beautiful. Just being able to walk like the banks and have these big sort of open grassy meadows to walk through is, yeah, a nice change, not having to push through dense scrub. Beautiful trees around here, and man, just the cliffs. Like I could honestly spend months exploring this place, eh? Just so many little nooks and crannies and caves to explore. I'm sure this place holds some pretty cool secrets. And also, man, the emus. Love seeing the emus out here. Like so many emus and kangaroos jumping around, which is really cool to see. Not too many places I go have emus, so yeah, it's really cool to see them out here. I'd love to be a bird, eh? Just being able to fly through along this river through this gorge here would be such a cool perspective. That's why I got the drone with me this trip. And for those who are wondering, I did apply for a commercial filming permit with the national parks, which cost me $250, but I figured it's worth it to sort of show this place off, because you really kind of want that aerial perspective just to get a sense of the place. So I think it's money well spent. So yeah, really enjoying it. It looks like the rain's here. Bloody hell, where'd this come from? The wind's picked up and it started to rain now. So nice and sunny before. Yeah, right. Well, g'day Mr. Goanna. Don't you have some beautiful markings? Don't worry mate, I'm not here to hurt you. I just want to admire you. Let you be. Bloody hell, another goanna about 100 meters away from the other one. That is a beautiful feather. Not sure if that's an eagle or an owl's feather. I am buggered. I have not stopped walking for the last 2 days, eh? I think I probably would have done another maybe like 11 k's today on top of yesterday's 13, so very keen to pull up stumps, and I think this is going to be a pretty nice little campsite for tonight. I'm just going to probably run the tarp off that tree, just a little plough point shelter again. And man, how's that for a backdrop, eh? Not bad, not bad at all. Now look, I know I need to stop saying how nice the view is, but bloody hell, this place is just next level, hey. It is absolutely gorgeous. I feel like I'm in the prehistoric days, hey. Imagine dinosaurs and pterodactyls flying through here. It's so nice this time of night, just after the sunset. That last light is just lighting up the sandstone cliffs, and you've got the birds singing off their little heads, which is nice. Oh, I'm in love. I really like this place. I'll definitely be back. So I had a visit from a few pigs last night. I heard something rustling up here, so I got my torch and shone it up on top of this hill, and sure enough there was two pigs walking by, but they were not fazed by me whatsoever, eh? Like, they saw me, but they just kept doing their thing, which is surprising considering every other animal, as soon as they see me, they just bolt in the other direction. And also there was about, I swear there would have been about 6 possums sitting up on top of these rocks here. I shone my light up onto the rocks, and there's just all these two little eyes looking at me, and yeah, it came to a bit of a gaze, and yeah, there's about 6 of them. Quite a few possums out here. Saw some the night before last as well. There's so much wildlife, that's what's really nice about this place. I've seen emus, kangaroos, goannas, possums, pigs. Unfortunately pigs, it'd be nice to not see the pigs out here, but they're here. I've seen a goat skull in a cave yesterday as well, so lots of wildlife. Right, so got some real talk for you guys, and I'm sure a lot of you probably aren't going to agree with this, but coming out to like places like this and spending so much time in the bush and just seeing all the feral animals that are out here and all the damage that they're doing, it's kind of got me thinking perhaps we should start allowing recreational hunters to come into certain national parks and sort of help control the feral animal populations. You can do it by a sort of a tag or a permit system where people will pay for a permit, and that money that's raised from that permit will then be put back into conservation for the park. And also by allowing more hunters into the area, you're going to have a better chance of reducing those feral animal populations, as well as the meat that they do harvest, they can actually utilise. Because the current system we have is every couple of months or so you'll have the national parks fly by in the helicopters, and they'll try and shoot as many feral animals out of those helicopters as they can. And they basically just leave those animals to rot on the side of a hill, which is just such a waste. They also have contract hunters that will come into an area to try and deal with like the deer and the pig populations, but that's only so effective when you've just got like a couple of hunters employed to service like a whole national park. So I think by opening it up to recreational hunters, you'd have such a better job at reducing the feral animal populations. You'd have to do it safely, of course. I think if you close off certain sections for like a week or two at a time, which is nothing new, that's what the national parks do when they do their flybys. That way you don't have bushwalkers in the same area as hunters. So I think it'd be pretty effective. I know it's a controversial topic that a lot of you guys probably aren't going to agree with, but look, I was at the same point a few years ago. I used to be so anti-hunting, but I've done a complete 180 on it, and you just really see the need for it when you come out to places like this. Like having those 2 pigs walk by me last night, they were not fazed by me whatsoever. If I was a hunter, I could have taken care of those 2 pigs, and that would have been 2 less pigs out in this national park doing damage. So I don't know, controversial topic. I don't think it will probably ever happen, but I don't know, keen to hear what you guys think of it, and go easy on me in the comments as well, because I'm sure some of you guys are going to absolutely roast me. But like I said, I used to be so against it as well, but spending so much time out in the bush, I've definitely come around on it. Hard to say goodbye to this, eh? I'll be back. I'll be back. Alright, well this is like my 7th attempt at the sign out, so hopefully we get it this time. But yeah, I just want to say, hope you guys enjoyed this video. It has been so much fun. This is some very specky country. Like, even as I say this now, there's a bloody eagle just flying around that cliff just there. So much wildlife in this national park, like the emus, the kangaroos, the goannas, the possums. Yeah, it's a really beautiful place, and man, to see sandstone cliffs, absolutely frothing, all of it. It's so good. So keen to get back here. So keen. Maybe a pack raft trip next time. But anyway, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one as well. I just want to say a massive shout out to all my Patreon supporters, because yeah, it's with your support, guys, that really does help me to get out here and yeah, make more content for you. So yeah, anyway, until next time, guys, be real.